5:30 on this Tuesday evening. I'd like to call our meeting to order. I'd like to welcome everyone for coming. Thank you. I ask at this time if you would silence your devices, and everyone that's got a mic in front of them, if you'll adjust it now. I've asked Commissioner Leggett to give our invocation. I've asked Commissioner Harris to lead us in the pledge. If you would, Mr. Leggett.
Let us pray. Father, we thank you again for your many blessings. Thank you, Lord, for your grace and your mercy that you show on us every day. Father, I ask you that you would bless each and every one that's here today, bless their families. And now, Father, I ask that you would give us the knowledge to know how to make decisions for this county. Give us the wisdom to use it. And Lord, we just ask it all in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
On the approval of tonight's agenda, I have been asked if we could move item D under item 8, new business, move it up to the first in that order. That is the only change I'm aware of. Do I have a motion to approve this agenda?
So moved.
I have a second.
Second.
All in favor? Unanimous. Approval of minutes from 1/10 of 2023. We have a revision on that item.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. An apparent discrepancy has been identified in the January 10, 2023 minutes. The minutes require correction in order to accurately reflect the proceedings of that meeting. The original minutes did not record the affirmative response when the answer of yes was given by interim county manager Mike Deal to the question posed by Commissioner Wilkerson, who asked if the SPLOST line item 4, total of $580,000, was to be used at Ernest J. Parker Park. Mr. Chairman, I recommend the minutes be corrected as follows. The funds listed as item 4, Appling County Recreation, restrooms, and new facilities will be designated for use at Ernest J. Parker Park.
Thank you, Mr. Al. I need a motion on that revision.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Mr. Theodore.
I'll make a motion.
Thank you, sir. I need a second.
Second.
Mr. Randy, thank you. All in favor? That's unanimous. Approval regular monthly meeting. We'll do this together. Andy call meeting. Approval of those minutes. Does anyone have any problem with those minutes?
Mr. Chairman, I got one concern. We had a call meeting for February 13th at 6 p.m. 8, but it was at the Ag Center. It should be at the courthouse, shouldn't it? That's like just a small misprint. But it was not a misprint, but we changed it during the...
That's Robin. You got it recorded? A motion to approve with that change.
I make the motion.
Theodore. Second.
Second.
Is that Mr. Doug?
That's correct.
All in favor? Unanimous. Old business, item A, approval for final payment of indoor pool completion. Mr. Al.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Aquatic Center building is complete. The final punch list item, event motor, was replaced this Sunday, 5 March. All systems were found to be in good working order, and the Aquatic Center contract has been satisfied. Final payment had been withheld until this last repair was complete. The balance due is $229,000, $229,990 $1,022.83. Mr. Chairman, I recommend payment of this final bill.
Thank you, Mr. Al. I have a motion to make that payment.
I'll make the motion.
Theodore, do I have a second?
A second.
Carol. All in favor? Unanimous.
Can I ask a question right here?
Yes, sir.
That's fine about that, but what is the warranty on the work on that pool?
1 year, sir. Well, excuse me,
When will
sir.
that year start? As
When
today,
this
or was
check
it
is-
2 months ago, or when?
When this check is issued, sir. My apologies.
Okay, all right.
Item B on old business, TIA agreement, new resolution due to new leadership.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The resolution for use of the TIA funds had the previous Chairman of Commissioners' signature. GDOT contacted this office on Monday, 6 March, and requested the county manager, myself, to sign the resolution as I had signed the original TIA documents. Mr. Chairman, I recommend that I be allowed to sign the resolution.
Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion that we allow Al to sign those TIA documents.
Mr. Doug, did you have a question?
The resolution itself, just got a question about it. Did they not accept your signature, initial signature?
They did not accept the previous chairman's signature, sir. The resolution had Mike Schuman's signature, and it did not match the TIA document. I signed the base document in full. The resolution we sent in because it was part of the minutes and signed in this meeting. They've contacted us back yesterday and wanted me to sign the resolution. That's why I brought it before the board tonight, sir.
Okay, does Leslie have to sign it as well?
No, sir.
Okay.
County manager is allowed to sign it. I did not have space to sign. Mike Schumans had signed the only signature block on the previous resolution.
Okay, as far as the agreement itself is concerned.
Correct.
Okay.
I have a motion from Mr. Darrell. Do I have a second?
Second.
Doug, all in favor? Unanimous. We're gonna move item D up. You want to go first, or
Yeah.
got it?
I've got it. We've got a resolution to begin participation in the new national opioid settlements. I've got Alex Johnson, who is my co-counsel with the city. The city and the county is both involved in this litigation. Essentially, Commissioners, we are agreeing to participate in the settlement with Teva, Allergan, CVS, Walgreens, and Walmart, and that allows us to be a part of the class action lawsuit that this commission has previously voted to be a part of. It's just a new resolution that they need you to adopt. It allows Leslie to, our chairman, to participate in signing the documents to carry forth the litigation. We're close to resolving this finally, I believe, and getting some money, and there'll be some direction on how the money's spent. Am I correct, Mr. Johnson?
Let me just say, the city is not involved, it's only the county. I'm involved because previous attorney, Bob Highsmith, declined to be involved and asked me to handle it. This is, a couple of years ago, the commission voted to become a part of this lawsuit and to hire a law firm, Blasingame Birch Law Firm out of Athens, which represents a lot of people in multi-state litigation. And if you all recall, maybe last year, you approved an almost identical resolution to settle with National Distributor and Johnson & Johnson. And there are more defendants out there. These are more defendants. This is against Allergan, CVS, Walgreens, Walmart, and Teva. And this just says the same thing you said before, as Tracy said. You make a resolution to follow the lead of our council and sign the form, although they're recommending you not sign it right now, but sign the resolution that you will participate in this agreement. We've gotten a check on, already gotten a check on, or a couple of checks, I think, on the first one. This will be some more money for the county. And it's pretty simple. Just do what you've done before. It's the same lawsuit that was before. This is just different different defendants.
Where's the actual resolution?
I believe I need a motion to approve.
Do we have
Me
a,
to sign this?
I didn't see none of that.
Mr. Doug.
yes, sir, I did not, I was having difficulty finding the actual resolution.
They're at the back of your packet,
The,
Mr. Doug.
the attachment, I guess, is what I was looking for.
You need a motion.
Motion to allow me to sign that resolution.
I'll make a motion.
It is.
to
I'll
allow you
second.
to sign that resolution.
Theodore, you give me a second.
Yeah, I'll give you a second, sir.
All in favor?
Thank you, Mr. Johnson.
Thank you, sir. Back to our regular, item A on new business message boards, hazard mitigation grant 2019. Brent Carter from EMA.
Well, we got, what about motor grader?
Good evening, y'all.
Good evening.
Pull your mic up, Brent.
Just wanted to come this evening and update y'all on this grant, this hazard mitigation grant we applied for in 2018. It was initially for 4 portable electronic warning signs to be stored at the EMA or the county road shop. The original grant award was for $58,000, with the federal share being $43,500 and the state share being $5,800 and the local share being $8,700. We have changed this because there's been a substantial increase in prices of these boards. The boards went from $14,500 in 2018 to their $16,000 today. So what we done was we cut one board off of the grant, which reduced the price. We won't have to pay an overage. If you go to your, did y'all get the packet that I sent over?
Statement.
Yes. These are the boards we're gonna get, the SMC 4000s. It's a 4x8 message board, like you see on the side of the highways when they're doing road work or anything like that. And the reason behind getting these is because of when they evacuate the east coast of Georgia. You know how congested 341 and US 1 gets. We can use those boards to let the motoring public know what they need to do.
Put whatever information out there on the board that you need.
That's right.
Programmable.
That's right. And these boards will be available to the county road shop and the city of Baxter Public Works for whatever they might need to utilize them for.
What was the total expense?
The new total expense, the total project cost is $48,000, with the federal share being $36,000, the state share being $4,800, and the local share being $7,200, which is 15% of the total project.
Our part would be 72.
That's right.
Commissioners, any questions?
Was this budgeted in 2018?
No, sir. This would be a non-budgeted item. Grants generally are. That money just, the total amount will come out of the general fund initially, and then everything but the $7,200 will be reimbursed.
Is there going to be any issue with going to 3 machines instead of 4 as far as the grant's concerned?
No, sir. I was initially going to try to add some cheaper items to the grant, but found out that you cannot add any items to the grant.
Okay.
You can only remove, or you can pay the overage.
They indicate how long it'll take to get reimbursement for the
About 30 days.
30 days? Okay. Thank you.
Once we get the boards and we send them an invoice, you know.
And these have a 5-year warranty?
Yes, sir.
Is that,
$2,000 there?
that include the, computer part of it?
Yes, sir.
Electronics?
All the electronics is covered under that.
How are they actually, programmed?
They have a computer built into the trailer itself that you can program it right there on site.
Okay.
You don't have to have a laptop or anything to program these boards.
Okay. And our share is $7,200.
$7,200.
Any further questions? Do I hear a motion on this item?
So moved.
You gave me the motion, Mr. Randy?
Yes.
I have a motion from Mr. Randy, Mr. Darrell.
I'll second.
And a second from Mr. Darrell. All in favor? Unanimous.
Thank y'all.
Thank you, Brett.
Next item, motor grader upgrades, Mr. Al.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The vendor for our motor graders is Yancey Caterpillar, and they're represented here tonight by Craig Foreman and Kevin Simmons. We have a total of 8 graders that service the 546 miles in our county, and these are on a 5-year trade-in rotational plan. 2 graders are up for trade-in this year, Grader 94 from the 4th District and Grader 81 from the 2nd District. The cost for the 2 new graders minus trade-in is $481,242 and is reflected in the approved 2023 budget. Mr. Chairman, I recommend a vote to begin the trade-in process.
Any questions from the commissioners? Do I have a
The-
motion on this item?
So the total price, including the trade-ins, is $538,346.
Sir, yesterday evening, I was able to negotiate with the Yancey individuals that are hosted here tonight, and for a machine that's compatible with what we have on the roads now, the price is $481,242. The price that was quoted in your packet is a larger machine, weighs 1,200 more pounds, and has exactly 20 more horsepower. We can save $19,000 per machine by purchasing the ones I stated of, sir.
What's the total price again?
Total price is $481,242, sir.
That's for 2 graders?
That's correct, 2 graders, sir.
Okay.
We'll trade in 2 of our older ones and receive 2 new ones. Once we begin the process, it'll take about till September or October before we see these. However, the decision we make tonight will lock this price in and lock in our trade-in value.
The trade-in values remain the same.
Correct.
I'll make a motion that we accept the renegotiated offer.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Doug. Who gave me the second? Mr. Randy gave me the second. All in favor?
This is a budgeted item.
That's correct, sir.
Mr. Theodore, I didn't see
Yeah, I'm
yours.
sorry. I was expecting it.
We're unanimous now. Item C, tax assessment board member resignation. That's right.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Lake Carter has resigned from our tax assessor board. He has served 10 years honorably in that role. Our tax assessor, Myrna Taylor, has reached out to David Eason, and Mr. Eason has agreed to fill this vacancy at the pleasure of the commissioners. We do not have to rush this decision. However, for the panel, Mr. Eason was a previous county commissioner from the years 1999 to 2002, and he is now willing to serve the county again in this role. Mr. Chairman, we can vote on this tonight, or we can table this. This can be conducted at the next meeting if the commissioners so deem so, or can be voted on tonight.
Commissioners, would you like to make a motion?
I make a motion that we appoint Mr. David Easton, if you want to be on it.
I got a motion. Go through with this. Do I have a second?
I'll second that. Point of order, we probably need to accept Mr. Carter's resignation first and then go to appoint David.
pending Mr. Lake's resignation.
That's correct.
When is his resignation effective, Al? Immediately?
Immediately, sir.
Okay.
Would you amend that motion to
Absolutely.
accept Mr.
I'll amend
Carter's
that.
resignation and appoint David at the same time?
That's correct. I will amend my recommendation.
So I have a
To
motion and a
appoint.
second now.
Theodore made the first one, I'll second.
All in favor? Unanimous. Public input. Ms. Hardy.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners. I'm here on behalf of our local softball travel team, EPIC. We have 3 softball teams. We have a 10U, a 12U, and a 14U team. And I wanted to just thank y'all and thank the rec department for what they have done for us in the past few weeks. 2 weeks ago, we had our first 14U tournament here at our rec department. And we had 7 teams coming in from Alma, Brunswick, Byron, Cochran, Lakeland, Georgia, and our two of our EPIC teams played in it as well. We had great cooperation with Timmy and Bird and Michael for getting the fields prepared. The grounds were clean, the restrooms were clean, and even Derek Jones, who used to work for the rec department, bragged on the lining of the fields. He said they were impeccable, and he is very, very ticky about that. But we just wanted to thank y'all and let y'all know the potential that our rec department does have to bring in business for Akron County. We had some teams stay at the Sleep Inn. They obviously buy gas here, go to the, the Jiffy stores and to the restaurants, and they do bring income. This was by all means a very small tournament. We usually go out of town to tournaments that have anywhere from 15 to 27 teams. So we're working towards, hopefully, with Timmy and some of the local coaches to, to get more tournaments here. But we just wanted to let y'all know that we do thank you for what y'all have allowed us to do there, and that there's huge potential, and we hope that we can continue, and with some improvements. I mean, I know that's a big request, and that is on down the road, but there are a few things that need to be done in order to have larger tournaments. But we can start from here. And our teams actually are working to have another tournament in May and one in the fall. And then, we hope to have more in between. But we really just wanted to say thank you, and thank you for the cooperation from the Recreation Department to help us get this started here. Thank y'all.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Sheriff's report, Mark Melton.
Good afternoon, and thank y'all for letting me be here again. Just a few things that I want to mention to you that's coming up in the next several weeks, several days, several weeks. This week we are hosting in Glenn County our Georgia Sheriff's Association chaplains from all over the state of Georgia. We got about 100 chaplains there, and we actually, our 2 chaplains, Stephen Statham and Ronnie Rentz, are there representing Akron County. The sheriffs from the Brunswick Circuit will be hosting a low country bowl for them Thursday night, and y'all want to come to Brunswick, we'll be glad to feed you all as well. This is not to do with the sheriff's office, but I just think it's good information to share with the folks. Dinner theater this Friday and Saturday night. The show choir does a fabulous job to showcase what our students are doing in Akron County, and we have a lot of talent that if you've never been, I highly recommend it to see the talent of our folks that are, our young folks that are in our school system and doing things other than playing football and baseball, so there's a lot of talent there. Remind you, Saturday night is the beginning of daylight savings time. Don't forget to drop your clock back. I don't want none of y'all to be late for church. Spring forward, excuse me. Don't drop it back. You'll be real late. We got a career day at the high school the 16th, and we'll be there. The sheriff's office obviously attempting to recruit and keep young folks interested in the first responder fields, and we're excited to be able to go to the high school and do that. It gives us a good opportunity to talk with the high school age students that are fastly approaching a career path, and we try to encourage them to consider that path. It's a good career path, and it's an honorable job, so we encourage them. And their award will be coming up. That's the Boy Scouts event, and we're sponsors of that as well. Again, it's another opportunity for us to put in to our young folks and encourage them to stay on the path of good citizenship. We will be recognizing one of our local residents this year, and he will certainly be deserving. I'm not going to say who it is because I'm not sure that they put it out in the public yet, but if you hadn't been asked, I would encourage you to offer to be a part of somebody's table and come and sponsor or be a part of that event. A very worthy cause. Plant Hatch is going to be hosting a lunch and learn event, and the sheriff's office has agreed to be a part of that, and it's just an opportunity for us to keep our bridge built and linked up with Plant Hatch, who's always been a very good partner to Appleton County and to us at the sheriff's office in particular, so we will be there. And then the main thing I want to speak to you tonight about is the 2023 Law Enforcement First Responder Expo that we'll be hosting April the 5th at the Appling Ag Center. And I want to tell you first how grateful I am that Appling County has such a facility as the Appling Ag Center. We are very fortunate to have the ability to host events there, indoor and outdoor events. I was at the Ag Center last night, yesterday and last night for the cattle show and then the pig show and the pig sale last night. So it's always a great atmosphere, and it's a great venue for things such as that. But we'll be hosting the 6th annual Law Enforcement First Responder Expo there. It's from 10 to 3, April the 5th. I would love to have all of my commissioners come out and see what's going on. It's an opportunity for us. We use it for multi-pronged thing we use it as a recruiting tool. Obviously, we again are encouraging our young people to stay focused in if they think that they might want a career either in law enforcement, firefighter, all the first responder, EMS, EMA, those kind of things. But we also have several branches of the military that will be represented because those things all go hand in hand. The people that like one likes the others usually. So we will have between 40 and 50 different agencies represented that day, and they'll be there showing their wares, trying to just let the people know what's going on and let the kids know, what is available out there in terms of careers for them. It's also a good opportunity for us to feed into those young people, and not just our young people, but our citizens, to see what's available to us in Appleton County through partnerships that we have with many, many different agencies, both city, county, state, and federal will all be there. And it is, we'll be doing some interactive scenarios. If any of you got to go last year, the kids that were there really, really appreciated the demonstrations and things that were going on. We had We'll have a scenario where a car chase and it ends in the SWAT team getting involved and the helicopters will be involved, and then I know we're going to do a full scenario of a car crash and from radio call or telephone call of the crash to the very end when the tow truck hauls it away. So we'll use all our first responders in that event, and just an opportunity for people to see all that goes into making our community safe and what our first responders do. And it's a great opportunity to showcase what we do here in Appleton County. And again, the partnerships that we have across the state and across the southeast United States with our federal partners. I will tell you, I need volunteers. If any of y'all are interested in coming and spending the day, we're going to feed everybody that comes there if they want to eat, and so we'll be cooking hamburgers and providing a lunch and snacks for everybody that comes through until it runs out. I don't know, we're cooking for 12 or 1,300. I don't know how many will show up, but I hope we run out pretty quick, to be quite honest with you. But I'd love to have you come. I do know that our honorary deputies, and I hadn't said anything to my sheriff's council, but I'm going to ask them, and some of them are in here today, so I'm going to ask them to help us by volunteering to be hands-on with things that we got going that day. But any questions about anything I've covered?
How was your recovery?
April 5th.
Good.
Good. Thank you, fast. Thank you.
Thank you, Sheriff Mark Melton.
Mr. Chairman, can I have a word with you just 1 second, please?
Mexican restaurant lunch today. I saw you went to a Mexican restaurant. Where can you? I was in Hazlehurst today. What's the discussion? There's no pressure to reword that motion to make it better. When I was told last time that this stipulated it was for the whatever. So then I put back in there, I put it in there, leave it like it is, because the motion's come up, they want money from it, just tell them we're part of that. That's
Y'all bear with us just a minute, we're just working out a legal issue.
Okay. Yeah.
Mr. Doug, are we good?
I'm good, Mr. Chairman. Thank you for the time.
Thank you, sir. Next up, Recreation Department, Timmy McGuirk.
We'll start with the Aquatic Center first. Like has already been said, the Aquatic Center, all repairs have been made and it's functioning well. It's running really, really well. We've had about 1,000 people come through it since we've opened. We got the special education department from the high school, and I think in the middle school is coming 2 days a week for therapy. and that's really a good program for them. And for the month of March and April, it is already booked up for the weekends, for Friday and Saturday for both months. And it's rapidly filling up for the whole year, so if anybody wants to rent it, you need to get a hold of us, because it's slowly going away. We concluded basketball with our 10U girls making a district final and our 12U boys making the district semifinals. And that concluded on a Saturday, and we rolled straight into baseball and softball evaluations the following Monday. We got the 8U and the 10U on teams and practicing, and the 12s and 14s. 12s was yesterday, the 14s are today, and they'll be on the field next week. And the adult registration is closed, and we're going to have between 15 and 18 adult teams playing softball this year. The T-ball, which is the 3 through 6-year-olds, which is actually two divisions, is 3 and 4-year-olds, 5 and 6-year-olds. That registration ends this Friday, and I put 130 on it. When I recounted this afternoon, we're closer to 160. So that's a good sign. We got a tentative track date set for our local track meet on April the 4th or April the 6th. We're waiting on the high school track coach to give us a confirmation on which day. And the way that works, we do a local track meet, and then we take the best from our local track meet to a district track meet, which is generally in Camden County, and then the best out of the district goes to the state track meet, which is in Jefferson, Georgia, which is right above Athens. And the swim team registration has started, and it's going well, and it runs until March the 24th. And that's it for the update on the recreation. Any questions on that?
The recognition?
I'm going to do that. Y'all ready? All right. Emery? Shonda? On December the 6th, 2022, Appleton County employee Emery Alexander, and she is a lifeguard at our recreation department, was volunteering at the election poll site when her valuable skills in CPR were needed. She assisted a fellow citizen during their time of need, using her knowledge to render aid until the EMS arrived. And tonight we would like to acknowledge the courage that she had on that day. You want to speak? And we got her a plaque made, and I think it's a wonderful thing to know that she had the courage to perform CPR.
Yeah.
That's probably the first time. That's it.
I need to get a photo with her.
A photo of her paper. Okay.
Kimmy, at the conclusion of this meeting, we'd like to get some photographs presenting that plaque again, please. If the family would be okay staying around for just a minute. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
And thank you for utilizing your skills and your courage that day. I know it was a difficult situation, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Doug. Next up, Roads and Bridges, Bruce Johnson.
I'll have to admit, I almost turned and walked out the door because I don't know how I'm supposed to follow that one. I've got nothing really that's going to follow that one. What I will tell you about the main thing that happened in the last month, and I do have some pictures on my phone here if people want to maybe take a look at it, because it was very impressive. Probably the biggest washout that I've seen out here in quite a long time. Tuesday, February 7th, the District 1 motor grader operator discovered a bad washout on the side of the road at the creek down on Hilltop Road at the Plant Hatch Recreation Center. Upon inspecting the washout, it was discovered that one of the tank cars had failed, causing the road to undermine about 3/4 of the way underneath the road. Left probably about a foot or so of dirt on the road. If you just drove up there on it, you'd think there was still a pretty good road still standing there, but it wasn't the case at all. It was bad enough for when I got there on site, I walked up under the road. There was no road there, it was gone. Fortunately, God put that guy in the right place to be there, because if he hadn't been there, who knows what the next person's fate could have been who went across that. It was a really dangerous situation. Like I said, we inspected the tank car that had failed. What it was is that tank car was probably in the neighborhood, and which I have to thank the news banner for this one, because they had in their old section of the paper front page, there was a county commissioners meeting from 1983. I believe Troy Murray was the road superintendent at that time, and he was given permission to buy tank cars at like 10 cents a pound, which is incredible on its own. You won't do that now. So we're probably thinking that one of those tank cars was one of those that went up under that Hilltop Road. So it was about 40 years old. And when we got to looking at it, people out there in the road department in the past had done everything they could to make that thing last. There were metal patches all over it. There were motor grader blades welded to it. If there was any way they could make that thing last, they certainly tried. And they've made it last for a long time. You get 40 years out of a pipe, that's pretty good. But unfortunately, those things, they were well past their saving date. They had to come out. Those tank cars, and by the way, if you're not real familiar with a tank car, you see them on the railroad tracks all the time, the cylinder containers that haul liquids. When the railroad gets their use out of them, they'll cut the ends off and they sell them as pipe. We hadn't bought one in probably 15, 20 years out there, so it's been a long time since we've actually used tank cars. But anyway, that Tuesday we closed the road pretty late in the evening, so we come back the next morning. Was going to start digging that tank car up, and we decided to inspect the second tank car that was in there as well. Unfortunately, we crawled in the inside of that one, and the bottom of that tank car was gone. So not only were we replacing one, we were replacing two. Those tank cars were 78 inches in diameter, 52 feet long. Each one weighs a little over 13,000 pounds. We figured that out because when we took the tank cars out of there, we carried them straight to the recycle yard. They weighed them. Let me tell you, those things are not fun dragging out of that hole. You got a hole that was probably 12 foot deep, and then you got to pull those things out of there. We went through some chains getting those things out of the ground. They were very difficult to deal with. That's probably a good reason you don't see a whole lot of them anymore. It's just a whole lot easier to deal with pipe than it is trying to deal with tank cars. Anyway, we took both tank cars out, had them about by Wednesday. We got probably the huge, biggest break we've gotten in a long time out there. We called our pipe company, and they just happened to be running 84-inch pipes. It was a miracle. The way they operate is they run one size at a time. They'll go 18, 24, 30, 36, and on up. They just happen to be running 84s. So we were able to secure two of them. One was delivered on Friday. The next one was delivered on next Monday. We went to work on them and had them installed, had the pipes in the ground, and pretty much covered up on Tuesday evening. Got the road opened up the next day, and it's a whole lot better now than what we saw when I went out there. That was it's pretty depressing when you go out there and you just gotten probably 3 to 4 inches of rain, and you're trying to concentrate on getting roads fixed, and all of a sudden your main focus changes because you've got a school route that's out and nobody's crossing it. So I have to thank my guys. They did a fantastic job out there to get that road open as quick as they can. I have to thank Cherokee Culvert being able to get the pipes to us as quick as they can. And most of all, I have to thank the residents out there on Hilltop Road. They were very understanding. Got to meet and talk with a lot of them, and told them, look, what we're about to do here is going to last you 30, 40 years. If we try to patch the things again, we're going to be back out here next year closing the road again, and I don't want to do that. I mean, I just want to do it right, and so we don't have to come back. So, like I said, I have pictures of them. They were very impressive. First time, like I said, that I've walked up under a county road. That's a strange feeling. But everything looks better now. We hauled like 27 loads of dirt out there for cover. We were able to reuse some of the dirt, but a lot of that dirt was just washed down the creek. Never even see it again. What exactly happened, I'm not 100% sure. 3 to 4 inches in 70 some odd inch pipes shouldn't have really caused all that. We did find a couple of leaks in the tank cars, but I'm also thinking maybe there's a couple ponds that intersect that creek, and we may have had a dam failure down there. I'm not sure. I can tell you this, I wasn't walking up there because in my time down there we saw a copperhead, water moccasin. If it can hurt you, we probably saw it down there. So I was not going to venture up the creek to figure out what exactly happened up there. But whatever happened is fixed now, and thankfully we've got that behind us. Just a couple other things I want to touch on for the landfill. The bulldozer that's been at CAT. The last part of the grill was shipped yesterday from Berlin, Germany. We get that one, they put it back on. The bulldozer will be ready. Hopefully, fingers crossed, maybe end of the month. And also, I did not mention it in last month's meeting. I know, Mr. Doe, you asked me about it in January. It's kind of old news now, but I'll bring it up anyway, that Coleman Creek was completed, the bridge there. And it looks really good. I went down there, DOT requested I go down there and look at it so they could close it out on their end, and it's a really impressive structure. And you would be surprised how much traffic a road that's probably 23 or so miles out in the county gets. It gets more traffic than some that are 10, 11 miles out in the county. It's just a lot of traffic out there. I mean, it's a really impressive bridge. That one's open. And we also got our bridge inspection report, and everything's pretty good on that end. We're going to have to put a weight limit sign on a 10-mile road at 10 Mile Creek. But even in the inspection report, it was still listed as being in good condition, so thankfully, no real problems there. That's all I got. Any questions?
What is that weight limit going to be?
25 or 26 tons?
52,000 pounds?
Yes. And that's probably the oldest bridge we've got, I would probably expect.
Mr. Brooks, it was brought to my attention tonight that a few months ago, it was brought up and we agreed to move a pine tree out there at County Farm Fire Station. A big pine tree there on the left of the fire station. They have got a grant to put a deep well, and they can't put it till that tree is moved.
Okay, well, won't be no problem. We'll get that. Glad you let me know, because I was not even aware of that. But yeah, we'll get it. Anything else?
You talk to Mr. Deloach, Chair, he knows.
Gotcha.
Brooks, I assume we still got some more than pipes in the ground, tankers.
Yes, I'm glad you reminded me of that. Yeah, there's more of them out there. We're going to be going around trying to find all of them and the best we can getting inside of them and seeing what kind of shape they're in. To me, they're all ticking time bombs. Don't know when they'll go, but I'd like to get ahead of it and see what we've got before.
Ounce prevention.
Yeah. We're going to try to get ahead of it before it gets ahead of us.
That's right. Thank you.
Anything else?
Brooke, I got one thing. How about the beaver tails? How they coming along?
Very good this month. We had 1 week that was well over 100, and that's just in a week, and that's beating a lot of months we've had here recently. Of course, it is mating season now for beavers, and of course the babies are just as worth more as the adults. So if you can get them, we take them.
What's the price you go on give them?
40.
40?
A tail.
Okay, I need to start tracking fuel.
And I can tell you, We have probably in the neighborhood of 70, 75 places in the county that beavers are pretty active in that intersect county roads, and we still do not have enough trappers. And we don't care how you do it. I've had people shoot them.
Easy trigger. Easy
Trap
trigger.
them.
Yes, we do.
If you're on your land now. And of course, if you want to trap on the county right away, you can come by the office and we'll give you a form, just, knowing that you have permission to trap on the county right away. But hey, we'll take them any way we can get them. We've had people kill them and leave them for other people to come and claim the bounty on them. They didn't even want the bounty. That's crazy. But hey, I love to see them. If I see beavers out there and I get 50 or 100 of them, I'm pretty happy, because that means we ain't got to run pipes pretty much every day. 'Cause there was a point we were running them every day. If you've ever seen those jokers work, you can go in one day, take their dams completely out, and the next day you come back and you swore you were never there. They've just completely redone it. Melton's Chapel Church Road, I'll mention that one real quick. We took probably the biggest beaver dam out in the county there. You would be impressed by what they done there. It's probably about, I'd say, a good 30 to 40 yards long. It was getting pretty close to actually coming to danger and taking that road out. We went in there and just kind of broke the dam a little bit, let the water run down, and we carried several truckloads out to the landfill from that one dam. Like I said,
Thank you, sir.
go trap.
Appreciate it, Brooks.
You're welcome.
This time we need to go in executive session. I understand for personnel, I need a motion to close regular session and go into executive session.
We gotta talk about that.
I'll make a motion.
Mr. Charlie, I need a second.
Second.
Mr. Doug, all in favor? Unanimous. Session and reopen regular session.
So moved.
Mr. Andy, I need a second.
Second.
Who was the second?
Theodore.
Thank you, Mr. Theodore. All in favor? That's unanimous. Our attorney will share some information.
The previous interim county manager, Mike Deal, was placed on a consultant status as of 6 December, and that was an ongoing relationship until the board no longer needed him for those services. The board has now reached a point of having to determine whether Mr. Deal's services will be required as a consultant going forward. Pleasure of the board.
I need a motion to approve that.
Prove, what's that?
The board needs to make a motion whether we're going to continue the services of Mr. Deal or end those this evening as a consultant for professional services.
I move that we terminate the use of
Mr. Andy, you making a motion to terminate Mr. Deal's service. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Theodore. Any further questions? All in favor? You got 3 in favor, all against, all opposed, 2 opposed. Motion passes.
All right, let's go.
County manager's report, Mr. Allen.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. On Monday, 6 March, Appleton County hosted the Appleton County Cow and Hog Show. Of notable interest, this was the first cow show in Appleton County in 40 years. This event was held at our Ag Center and was well attended. Item 2, coordinations have been made with Yancey Cat to provide a refresher class for our motor grader operators. This mandatory class will be held in April and will include safety, daily operator level maintenance, and specific tasks such as road crowning and ditching operations. Each operator will receive 10 hours of instruction. I intend for this to be the annual requirement for all operators. Item 3, Appleton County has 12,342 registered voters. As of today, only 116 voters have cast a ballot. If you are for or against an item, I ask that you please vote, and do this for those who have fought for your right to do so. There was a time in this country when women, minorities, and adults younger than 21 could not vote. Many people worked hard, sacrificed, and died, so we all have that right. It's your duty to exercise it. Together, we decide our future. Be part of that future by voting. At the conclusion of that meeting, I asked if anyone else had any more questions, they could either email them to my office. I received one question. The question is, of the top 10 recommended projects, what is the specific priority order that they will be given as the SPLOST funds are collected through year 6, and how will the funds be distributed each year? The answer. This information can be found in the intergovernmental agreement that is posted on the Appleton County Board of Commissioners website. In part, it reads, all projects have equal priority and shall receive a pro rata allocation of SPLOST funds on a quarterly basis as set forth in Exhibit A. For example, the volunteer firefighters get 5.1% of the SPLOST. Each quarter produces an estimated $91,000 revenue total. In this example, the firefighters receive their 5.1% and can use the available funds, which will amount to approximately $4,641, or they may wait until more funds accumulate in order to fund a purchase. That completes my county manager's report, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Al. On Chairman's comments, I want to mention earlier in our meeting, Mr. Doug asked a question, and a few of us walked away from the mic, and I wanted to clarify that. I believe Mr. Doug's question, we had 2 resolutions tonight. One was TIA and one was the opioid agreement. And I believe his question related to one, the county manager, Mr. Al, had to sign, and one I had to sign. And that was what his question was, about the signatures on the different ones. I wanted to clarify that point. Am I correct, Mr. Doug?
That is correct. Thank you for clarification.
Thank you, sir. I also went out to the pig or hog show. I'm not sure how many, Mr. Darrell, I know made it, Mr. Andy, Mr. Theodore, Al, myself, really enjoyed watching the young folks and what they did, and also all of the parents and the grandparents. All those youngins don't get there by themselves. They have to have their parents and their grandparents move them and help them with all those animals, and that was really something to see, and I enjoyed it very much. We're at the end of our meeting. Commissioners, do you have any statements or comments tonight? None. Thank you all. Anyone in the public?